morning, you guys. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. A happy Tuesday to your baby. Yes. Happy Tuesday, you guys. If this is your first time tuning in, visiting the channel, thank you very much. If you already been subscribed to me and been watching me, thank you very much. Like, share, comment. Hit that bell to be notified when your girl upload another video. And share. That's it, you guys. That's it. Look, I'm going to jump right into it. You guys, what do you think the age would be? Oh, let me rephrase the question. If you had a grown child, just turned 18, and they were off to get ready to go to school, college or whatever. When they came home from college, would you charge them rent if they came home to live with you? That's my question. Okay, so you have me turn on my light back here. You have a child. Let's say they don't go to college. Let's say they just ended up just being 18, 19, really not doing anything with their life, and they came back home to live with you. Would you let them live with you, and would you charge them rent? Okay, that's my question. Would you charge your kid rent to live with you after they reached a certain age? Would you do that? Me personally, I would let my kid live with me if they were either A, going to school, B, working, but while they're working, they're saving, they're establishing themselves. Okay, maybe buying a car, paying their car note on time, establishing themselves. They're working, they're establishing themselves. And they were showing me that they're saving. Okay. Now, yes, I would have them contribute some, maybe the food or whatever, but I wouldn't charge them rent off the bat. Now, with this day and age and the way things are nowadays, it's really hard. I remember when I was growing up, it was hard. But it's each generation is harder and harder and harder. But for some reason, it seemed like it was easier to get a job back when I was in the work field, because we would get the Sunday paper. That Sunday paper would have been full of jobs. Okay, we getting that Sunday paper, and back then we had to send our resume in. We had to, call them up and all this stuff. It was so easy to just quit a job and get another one. It was like the employee, like right now it's the employer's market. Okay. But back then it was our market. We were able to get a job and be like, you know what, I'm sick of this place. Quit and go get another one. That's how easy. It was really easy to get a job back then, it seemed like. Now it's an employer's market. They can be picky for one job. Okay, opening, they have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of applications and resumes. So now they can be picky, well, she got too many pages. I ain't got time to be. Make sure you have a 1-page resume, condensed into 1 page. They don't have time. They ain't got time to be looking at 2 and 3 pages. Okay, condense it down. Make sure that you have a lot of boldness on certain things. You got to your resume got to be on point, because they're picky, and they can be picky. Now, back to, I had to say that to say this. I know it's hard for the young people nowadays. With the rent being as high it is, you need 2 and 3 incomes right now to live comfortably, because rent alone, I ain't talking about more rent out here, California, and then it depends on what part of California. Okay, so where I'm at, a 2-bedroom apartment, $1,500, $1,600, $1,700 a month. 3-bedroom, well over $2,000 a month. Okay, you got to have credit to get a house. Okay, you can't just say, I'm just gonna go buy me a house. It don't work like that. It's not easy like that, like it used to be. These programs that they have, you got to have a bank account in your bank, and you got to have proof that you've have this bank account for at least a year. You have to make a certain amount for that bank to loan you that type of money. Because now for a decent house nowadays out here, it's $350 and up. $350 and up. Anything below that, you living in the hood. It's a starter home. You living in the hood. Anything below 300, you living in the hood. Now, if you don't have a good job, your job is not stable, you might be able to get you a little hood house. Who wants to live in the hood? And I'm not putting down anybody that is living in the hood. The point I'm making is, it is hard for the youngsters nowadays. We can't just throw them out and kick them out. Back in the day, your mom would be like, get out. You were able to make it. Okay, you were able to make it a little bit better. It's not the same no more. It's hard for these kids. In the millenniums, they got it bad. The job market, the rent, there's no rent control. Then we got the social media. They got a lot on their plate. The millenniums, look, I ain't saying it right, but y'all know what I'm talking about. They got a lot on that they are dealing with that we weren't dealing with. This social media is brutal. Brutal. It will take you out. It's brutal. Okay? So I said that to say this, and I know I started off talking about, would you put your kid out? I am just giving you or explaining to you my view on what the youngsters in their 20s and 30s are facing that we didn't face. Okay, we did face some stuff. It's hard to compare. It's just different. Okay, it's just different. They're facing a lot more than what we faced growing up. If you're my age, growing up, I graduated high school 84. Okay, so I grew up in the 60s and 70s. Okay, I graduated high school 84. So all the rest of the 80s and 90s, I was in my 20s, and it was different. Now all the kids that was born in the 80s and the 90s, oh, they're grown now. They're grown. Okay, and unfortunately, a lot of kids, if you don't have a solid support system, especially this day and age, it's hard for them. It's hard for them. So, with that being said, okay, I would not charge my child rent. Okay, however, they would have to contribute, because that would be teaching them responsibility. I wouldn't make them pay half my mortgage. I wouldn't make them pay, but they will have to take over at least one bill. Electric bill, or I don't need my light. Electric bill or something. They will have to contribute something, because they need to be able to be taught responsibility. I do want to turn my light back on. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. It's teaching them responsibility. Okay, teaching them on it. I bet you then they're going to be like, turn off them lights. See, right now they ain't paying the light bill. So they leave the light on. They just be careless with everything. I bet you once you make them pay that light bill, they'll be more aware of their activity with them lights and stuff. I bet you they wouldn't be leaving them lights on, especially if they got to pay for it. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying is, me personally, as long as I see my child is being productive, okay, in doing something, I would let them stay. They would still need to respect my home. There's still rules of my home. Okay? No, I would not charge them half my mortgage. But my child would have to pay at least one bill. And I would need to see them being productive. I need to see them going to work every day. I need to see that they are putting money up. They're preparing for their move out. They need to either be going to school or doing something. Yes. Now, what's the age limit, you guys, on that? Would you let your child, your kid, come live with you with their girlfriend or their boyfriend and their kids? And if you did, how long would you let that happen? Now, if your kid lived with you with their other half, baby mama or baby daddy, and they got their kids, would you then charge them rent? Since it's like a little family thing going on? Now, I probably would in that situation, especially if I was a single mom, barely making it on my own myself. I'm barely keeping a roof over my head as it is. Okay. Now, my kid want to come with their other half and their kids, then I would make them pay some rent. They would have to contribute to the household. Yes. But at what age, though? Would you let your 40-year-old son or daughter come live with you? If they're in their 40s, does age matter if you want to charge them rent, is my question. So if they're under a certain age, I don't charge them rent. But if they're over a certain age, they got to pay rent. I mean, what would you charge them based on their age? Now, if I had a grown kid that wanted to live with me and they're in their 40s, it would depend on why they're living with me. It would depend on what had happened, what went down that made them need to come back home. Did they lose their job? Did they have a fire? It just depends, on the reason why. What happened? And if you got fired, was it your fault? Did you do something? I need to know. Now, I will let them come, but it'll be very temporary. Very temporary. Say I'm mean if you want. But when you start getting to a certain age and a certain point in your life, there's times that you have to start standing up on your own. Like, how old do it have to be before you actually stop helping your kids? If you had a kid that don't have no job, and if they do get a job, it's a little part-time, they got all these kids, and you always constantly help them. And they never try to figure out anything on their own because they know they can depend on their parents, their mama or their daddy, to come help them. Always getting help. Never had to be put in no position to have to wiggle their way out of the dirt. Wiggle their way out of the bag. because they always can have their mama come running to their rescue. Whenever they needed a car, the mama helped them get a car. Whenever they need rent to be paid, mama help them pay the rent. Help them buy school clothes for their kids. Taking them to the doctor, going up to the school. Doing every single thing for them. Everything. And they don't never have to figure out anything. Whenever they get to the point where they have to figure it out, they call them, and then here come mama to the rescue. Is that really helping them? To me, that's enabling them. Every single time they get a car, it's because it was given to them. Never bought a car on their own. Every single vehicle that they ever driven has never been one that they have purchased on their own. Never, ever have purchased a car on their own. Whenever they need help, that mother or that father is always there to help them out, to do everything for them. When is the deadline? Like, when does that end? When does that stop? Like, when is that person going to ever figure out anything on their own? Whenever they need an oil change, they know who to call. Whenever they need help with a situation, with something, they going with them to the courthouse. They going with them to the school to talk to the school about their child. This is their child. But they got to have their mama with, she got to have her mother with her to go to the school to talk to the principal about her kid. That's like me taking my mama with me to go talk to the principal about my daughter, because I can't stand up on my own. And the mother or the father is always there. Whenever they need something, they always come a-running. Come a-running. Come a-running. How long do we do that for your kids? Don't that enable them? You're helping them, but you're not helping them. You're helping them and you're hurting them at the same time. Because if something was to happen to you today, are they going to be able to wiggle themselves out that bag? Who they going to call and run to? So, yes, I would say help your kids in the beginning. But after that, we need to let that bird go free. We need to let that bird fly into the walls a few times. We need to let that bird fall from the tree. Now, we're going to go check on it, make sure it's okay. We're going to make sure that they're all right. But once we see they're okay, then we just keep on letting them do what they do until they learn how to fly on their own. Every time you go out to eat, who pays? Your mama. Because you never have money. Every time you go somewhere, they never have money to pay for their meal. And they can't buy anything. They can't even get car registrations. They get help with the car registrations. They never pay car registrations. They get help with the car registration. Every single vehicle they ever had, they have never purchased. And then they smashing off and riding off like they doing something. All up and down the highway like they doing something. Ain't did nothing. It was all done for them. It was handed over to them. Ain't never did nothing on their own. You're not helping them. You're not teaching them. Oh, but you might be harder on the other kids that you have. You feel sorry for this one, but you don't feel sorry for the other one that's working hard and struggling and trying to, keep themselves together. You can't make a difference with your children. If you help one, you need to help the other. You can't make a difference between your kids. Okay? But when is enough enough, you guys? When do we stop helping? When do we say no? When do we say no? When do we stop? When do we stop? At what point, when do we stop? When do we stop, you guys? I don't know. I don't know. Because it's not helping. It's not teaching. It's not molding them. It's not. You're not teaching them anything. You're not grooming them. Why groom them? They can just let you come over and groom them. They don't have to know how to groom themselves because they know they can call on their mama. Okay? And she gonna come groom them for them. I can't, you guys. I just can't. And then that's why we got all these grown people around here being irresponsible, don't take responsibility, don't know how to be in a relationship, don't know how to pay no bills, don't know how to be loyal, don't know how to be responsible, don't know how to be an adult because they always got their mama right there doing everything for them. They never do anything on their own. And they just keep having all these babies. And they don't care because they know they can call their mama. The mama gonna be right there helping. She might as well be the baby daddy. She might as well be the baby daddy, not the baby grandmama. She might as well just be baby daddy, not baby grandmama. Okay? When do it change? Then you wonder why when you meet somebody, they ain't good in no relationship. They never been taught. They never, ever, ever been taught. Look, y'all. That's all. Look, I ain't got nothing else to say, y'all. That's it. That's it. I want to just throw out there and give you some food for thought. Okay? Don't enable your kids. Don't be their crutch. Okay, if you don't want to snatch the crutches, just take one crutch at a time. Okay? Let them stand up on one crutch under their arm before you snatch the other one. Okay? Okay. You don't have to snatch both crutches. Just snatch one at a time. Okay? That's all I'm saying, you guys. We have to teach our children to be responsible. And sometimes it hurts us. It says in the Bible, spare the rod, spoil the child. In layman's term, you can't keep holding their hand. Okay? We have to, it's going to hurt. Look. That old saying, this is hurting me more than it's hurting you. It is hurting us. It hurts us to see our children have to suffer, to see our children have to get out there and go through things. It does hurt us. Okay? It does. That old saying, this is going to hurt me more than it's going to hurt you. And then they turn you over and whoop your ass with a belt. Okay? We have to start doing that. Okay? And while you're doing that, don't make a difference between your children. Don't let this one, well, she's okay, this one works hard and she got this and she got that. But she's struggling too. She may need help too. Just because she's working don't mean she don't need no help. But you helping this one because, this one got more kids and this one. And don't make a difference with your children, you guys. Try to treat them the same way when you're teaching them responsibility. Put it like that. If you help one, you need to help the other. Okay? Don't just help one and not the other. Okay, I know each kid have different personalities. You got to treat them accordingly. But when it comes to assistance, when it comes to being a support system, when it comes to being there to help your kids, don't just be a support system to one child or to your two favorite kids and then leave the other one out. Don't do that. Now that's right there is wrong. That is wrong. To be supportive, be really supportive to a particular child and leave the other one out because you feel that they're okay. No, they're not okay. Okay, they may need assistance too. That's, right there is not right, making a difference between the two. But that's why a lot of these young adults around here can't be in no relationship. They could be 50 and 60 years old and still don't know how to be in no relationship. They were never taught. They were never taught. We cannot spare the rod. It says in the Bible, spare the rod, spoil the child. That's it, y'all. That's it. Food for thought. You thinking you helping them, you could be enabling them. Take a look at your situation, you guys. Take a look. Anyway, y'all, I'm going to end this video. I hope you guys enjoyed my little topic today, my little message. Okay? It's my little message. All right? Look, PSA, this is my public service announcement. Okay? Spare the child. No, spare the rod, spoil the child. That's my PSA for today. Okay, that's all I'm saying, y'all. We want to have adults being responsible. And we got to help them be responsible by teaching them responsibility. Okay, now what I always say before I end my videos, hold your head up. Keep your chest out. Don't be walking around with your nose all stuck up in the air because you feeling the way you feeling. And don't be walking with it hung low either. Okay? Don't steal nobody else's joy and don't let nobody steal your joy. Okay? That's it, you guys. That's it. And I will see you in the next video. Peace.